Yo, what's the crack, boys? Zion Williamson. Oh, he's injured. Like he's like, do you know what I mean? He's a big boy. Like he's a big boy. Obviously, he's gonna get injured, but like not one season where he's been completely healthy. Obviously, last season, I'm pretty sure he missed like the whole season pretty much. And it looks like he's gonna miss this whole season too. New Orleans were, before this season, looked like they're actually gonna be like the top team. I predicted them to be. Obviously, it was just all on Zion's health. It's literally proven when Zion plays, they're one of the best teams in the NBA, or at least top 10 in most of these stats. Obviously, his hamstring, like, says he's going to miss multiple weeks after the All-Star game. Let's be real. I mean, maybe he does come back. The Pelicans are still in the playoff spot. I don't know if it's worth taking him in for the play-in. Bro, this is so tough. This guy's like one of the best prospects of all time, and he's just being injured. Obviously, he's been out for like a month. He got injured against the Sixers at the start of the year. Been out since, and looks like he's going to be out for even longer. Oh, it's so tough. I can't believe it. Obviously, Zion's, probably missed by like 180 games or something out of like how many he could have played, which people get on AD for being injury prone. Zion's almost, matched the amount of games AD's missed in 11 years. So, like, obviously, it's bad. This is a concern. This is not, obviously, when Zion plays, he's a Hall of Fame talent, obviously, but, like, damn, his career could be over just from the injuries. Like, what team? Obviously, he's worth being on your team because when he's healthy, he elevates your team so much better. Like, this guy's one of the biggest athletes in the whole NBA. Just loves to get to the rim. His playmaking has massively improved. Obviously, the defense there, the rebounding. Just, like, obviously, he's worth a max contract if he wants to play for your team. But, like, the Pelicans are, like, they're losing time here. They're losing progress. A team compared to, like, the Grizzlies who... I'm not saying, obviously in hindsight, maybe, yeah, you take Ja if you knew Zion would be this injured, but obviously in that moment, you take Zion every time, but you see a team like the Grizzlies who possibly could make the NBA Finals this season. Bare minimum the second round, depends on the final seedings and that. Not saying, like, obviously, like, the Memphis Grizzlies, they're on track. They're maybe ahead of time a little. After the season, we'll find out, but the Pelicans have been stuck in a mid-table, like, do you know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, we're on a really good run. Okay, wow, we're like one of the best teams in the NBA. Now it's like, oh shit, Zion's injured. We're fucked. Like, we are fucked. They just lost to the Lakers by quite. Also, that Lakers team is very good. But if Zion was there, that's a close game. Brandon Ingram just isn't in that. Like, Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, just is plus their depth. They got really good depth, but Zion's that one piece that can make it make them the number one seed. 100%. It's just, it's these injuries, man. If you're the Pelicans, if you're not in the play-in, if you've made a playoff seed, 100% get Zion back. 100%. If you make the play-in, don't risk it. It's annoying, man. I haven't seen Zion in the playoffs once. Like, well, playing, I guess, but like, oh my god. I remember when I seen him like drafted, it's like, oh, it's gonna be one of the funnest players to watch, which he is when he plays. Literally putting up like LeBron numbers, stuff only LeBron's done, etc., etc. But it's like, oh my god. I don't think people should completely write off Zion. Obviously, a lot of players have had, slow starts to NBA careers, missing, a lot of games. Joel Embiid, prime example, missed like the first 2 years, was so in and out. Boom, now he's one of the best players in the NBA. Zion is still young. He's still very young. He, like, obviously still has time. But let's say his, this max contract is not even this contract that he's on. By the end of it, if it's still like this, it's tough to say if people will give him, a contract. People want to build around him. Obviously, like, I think he'll be fine. If I had to make a bet, I'd say, okay, he'll overcome these injuries. He'll learn from them. He is taking care of his body. Obviously, he lost a lot of weight this summer or last year, compared to other years. I think he'll continue to do that. Boom, has a Hall of Fame career. Like, that's what but obviously right now, it's just like, shit. There's a high chance he doesn't play this season again. Which, I mean, everyone loves to watch Zion, so it's so tough. But for the Pelicans, they've built a roster around him. That duo, Brandon Ingram and Zion, hardly play together. It's just like the Kyrie and KD one, and some other ones. Brandon Ingram's definitely, that's a good duo. You keep that duo. Especially with CJ McCollum. Maybe try, for your third star, you got all those assets, you got those picks. Trade it for, that third star. Hey, if Anthony Edwards wants out of Minnesota, you go for that somehow. I don't know. That's the first player that came to mind. But New Orleans should definitely not give up on Zion. No way. He's like such a good prospect, 100%. But obviously, in the future, if it's still keeping on, yeah, you got to move on. But I don't think it'll come to that. Hopefully not.